For years now, the Mitsubishi Mirage has been a bargain basement steal of a deal in America. This thing starts at $16,995 and comes available in either a sedan or this hatchback. Today we are checking out the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage ES. This is the base model, the entry level, one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, new car on sale in America. Yeah, it's got these not so pretty hubcaps, and yes, it's got a really slow, loud engine, but for folks who want simple A to B transportation and don't want a ton of maintenance, not a high car payment, this car is for them. There are tons of these on the roads in America, and there are rumors that Mitsubishi is actually discontinuing the Mirage in the 2025 model year. I mean, the Kia Rio, which is a main competitor, or was, I should say, a main competitor, that's been canceled by Kia. That's no longer an option. It is just the Mirage and the Versa and that small subcompact class. Now the Versa is only a few $1,000s more and does a lot better than this on a lot of categories. More power, better materials on the inside, and overall nicer feel and drive. But this is the leader when it comes to inexpensive, cheap transportation. And guess what? This actually does better on the MPGs compared to the Versa. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for finding us here on Overdrive Reviews. Please like and subscribe below, and be sure to follow us over on Instagram as well. We'll do a full review of this car today, the inside, the outside. It won't take very long because it's not very big, and also get it out on the road for you and show you what this thing does in the real world. This is not a cross the country cruiser. This is not go to the beach with all your things and all your friends and all your family. Not enough room, not enough power, not enough fun, but easy college transportation to and from the store. A city car, you can park it really easy anywhere you go. A huge shout out to the folks at Platinum Mitsubishi in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. They rock and hooked me up with this beautiful blue Mirage today. Check them out at the link below. More in my description below as well. They will get you done, that is their saying. All right, now that I am done, let's get moving on the outside of this 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage hatchback. Is it the last time we'll see it? Only time will tell. Alrighty, here on the exterior of the 24 Mitsubishi Mirage hatchback, bold styling, if I could say that, on the outside. The outside of this car looks much better than the inside of this car. Redesigned front here a couple of years ago. Mitsubishi carries it over for the 24 model year. Some nice chrome accents up front, no fog lights on this base model, and you do have halogen lights still. There is no such thing as LED lights on this Mitsubishi Mirage. It's kind of a lie. There's an LED brake light in the back. But up front here, every single Mirage does come standard with automatic emergency braking and pedestrian detection built into the windshield right there. That's a nice safety feature built into a $17,000 car. Now, after taxes, handling, and like one or two options, this thing stickers for about $18,300. Still under 20 grand for a brand new car in America. And like I mentioned earlier, there they are, the beautiful hubcaps. These are 14-inch wheels, 14 inches. These are 165 R14 wheels. Yeah, and that's all she wrote, folks. Nothing to really ponder over here. You've got disc brakes in the front, drum brakes in the back. That is the same for every single Mirage, no matter what trim you get. And speaking of trims, let's go over those real quick. The ES is the entry level, goes up to the LE, up to the Black Edition, which is a nice kind of blacked out rims, blacked out features, and then you have the top of the line, which is the SE, which stickers for just over 20,000 bucks. The SE gives you things like heated seats, push button start, some more amenities and more features compared to these base model cars. Now here in the back, I do love kind of the attempt at maybe some sportiness that Mitsubishi has given the Mirage. Every single one of these hatchbacks comes with a wing, a spoiler here on the back. Yeah, forgive me on the wing. It's definitely more of a spoiler. And these nice blacked out trim marks here around the rear lights. Mitsubishi added these like 3 or 4 years ago, and they continue on pretty much unchanged. Now, new for 2024, there's only one thing, and it's on the LE trim. The LE trim for the 2024 model year adds things like automatic headlights, rain sensing wipers, and a driver's armrest. Those things come on the top of the line vehicle as well on the SE, but for 2024, Mitsubishi is making it standard on the LE trim and above. Again, 18,000 bucks for this vehicle here. I'm not in love with the rear straight on. It looks kind of bulky and weird. You especially can see like all the underpinnings of the car there. It looks inexpensive and cheap, because it really is at the end of the day. And this big, crazy, slapped on the back of the car rear camera, yeah, they found no way to integrate this. Mitsubishi has to have seen my videos by now. I complain about this every time I talk about a Mirage hatchback. They just slap this big old rear view camera on the back, and there's no kind of, attempt at aesthetics with that. But at the end of the day, I mean, not a horrible looking car for what it is. It's easy, efficient transportation. Not a horrible looking car from right here. On the Black Edition trim, which I've done a video on that, check out that link on my channel here. I did a Black Edition sedan, actually. They add things like red accents in the grille and blacked out side view mirrors, blacked out wheels. It's a cool looking car. This right here, not all that attractive, but at the end of the day, again, it is a subcompact gas sipper that does not cost a lot of money. So along with the Mirage being one of the most affordable new cars in America on sale today, it also has another kind of cool moniker, if you want to call it that. This also is the only car in America that has a 2-digit horsepower rating. Only 78 horsepower in this 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine. 74 pound-feet of torque, by the way. So not a lot of power at all in these Mirages. This engine, I get it. It's meant for gas sipping. It's meant for fuel economy. But at the end of the day, still super unrefined. It's loud under acceleration. It really whines whenever you whack it out on the highway to get up to speed. 0 to 60 over 10 seconds. This thing crawls and creeps everywhere. So keep that in mind whenever you're buying one of these. You're not going to be going anywhere fast in it. Even if you get one of the SE trims with the nicer, sportier wheels and better packaging on the outside and better decals and things like that. If you get the Rally Art trim, it's not going to go any faster. It's the exact same engine in every single Mirage. So where this engine actually shines, though, is that fuel economy. 39 miles per gallon combined, about 43 on the highway. So incredible fuel economy this side of EV world, right? This is still a gas-powered engine, no electric parts at all, no hybrid parts at all. It is purely gas and still goes over 40 miles per gallon consistently. So it is a great car if you are trying to save on fuel, which now costs $4 a gallon for regular in most parts of the country. As soon as you start it up, it sounds like a lawnmower starting. It's a little bit odd if you're not used to how this thing sounds. Now, a lot of cars these days are using 3-cylinder engines, but they come with turbos. The Buick Envista is a good example. It's a small SUV, 3-cylinder engine, but has a turbo component, meaning it's a little bit quicker. And thank God it's a little bit quicker, because this thing is really, really slow. I mentioned the Versa is the only other on-sale competitor right now in America, and it does the engine better too. More power, a nicer sound, overall a better package. But if you got your heart set on one of these Mirages, I would act soon, because like I said, the rumors are coming that this thing is being discontinued so Mitsubishi can focus on its SUVs and other parts of its fleet. So a lot of folks buy hatchbacks for the cargo space, right? Well, the Mirage does have some space. It's not plentiful, but it's enough for what it is. 17 cubic feet of space back here behind the second row of seats. And down here, this is a deep well. I mean, for a small car, there is a decent amount of room back here. I'm not going to knock the Mirage where I don't really have to. With the second row of seats down, though, 47 cubic feet of space. Easy to see when this cover is not in the way. There we go. But yes, 47 cubic feet of space with the second row down. It does not go totally flat. It's about a 60-40 split here. And down beneath this well, in the bottom here in the back, there is a spare tire, and it is covered up by just a piece of cloth and a piece of cardboard. That is basically it. It is included with every single Mirage, which is a nice touch. And just be wary of the fit and finish. It's not all that great. This does not fit entirely correct. It doesn't fit entirely correct over here. Even when you move it into space, it still is off in kind of every corner. This is where you really see the cost cutting and the cheap materials and the build quality at the in these Mirages, and especially too here on the roof. I mean, look at this. This would usually be covered with something. Just to me, too many interior parts look exposed in the Mirage. By the way, these seats go back up really, really easily. Just grab onto this if you're in the back, and they slip right back into place, and they're very easy to pull down. All you do is unlatch it by pulling and then push. They're not heavy. They're very easy to put up and down, so anybody can do it. Alrighty, so inside the Mirage is where the cost cutting really is apparent. Here is the cockpit. This is it. Every single Mirage has basically the same setup no matter what trim you get. Some of the interior seats look different and there's some stitching on some of the higher end models, but this is the base model entry one. Like I said, the ES, every single Mirage looks kind of like this. Let's do a door check here for us. A little tinny, the window's also down, but solid enough for a $16,000, $17,000 car. Let's start on the door here. Every single Mirage has a 4-speaker sound system. Yeah, just 4. That means there's 1 in each door. That is all you get. Every single Mirage also has a 7-inch center touchscreen that comes standard with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and it's a decent system for being in a base model car. I mean, everyone remembers 20 years ago, no car had a center screen for the most part. Sure as heck didn't have a touchscreen and also didn't have a backup camera. All that is now included for under 20 grand after taxes. Still don't love the center dash here or the center gauge display. It looks like it was printed in Microsoft 98 or Word 98 or something. The font is old and outdated, and it's just super small. I really do think Mitsubishi should have at some point incorporated a digital aspect to this center gauge display. I mean, they can't cost that much more, and I do think folks would be okay paying $1,000 more if they just had more interactive features here, because all you can basically do is reset your trip and reset your mileage tracker. You can also adjust how close the car gets to the car in front of you for the safety feature when it, the emergency braking. That's about all you can do in that center little screen here. I mean, it just is so outdated. And while we're up here, this is where the push button start button would be if this car had it. Again, that's only available on the SE trim, but it's very Porsche of Mitsubishi to put the start button over here. It's kind of odd and looks out of place, but there it is. Only a few vents, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the entire car, because there are none in the rear, and they're relatively small and they feel, as expected, kind of cheap. But I don't want to knock the car too much because the AC system actually works rather well. I've driven these in the hot heat before, and the system keeps up pretty nicely. Down here you have your mirror controls, your traction control, and there is also your forward mitigation braking system. Whenever you push this, it'll show up in the gauge display here. On the steering wheel, all you really have are cruise control options, and then hands-free Bluetooth, which is standard as well, and then your volume and different modes for your music and auxiliary output and everything like that. So standard buttons on the steering wheel. Every steering wheel looks pretty much the same as well. Some of the other higher trims do have a polished black piece of plastic right here to kind of spruce up the steering wheel, but by and large it's pretty much standard across the board. You do have automatic climate control, which is a nice touch too for a car under 20 grand. Let's start this thing up so you can actually hear it and also then see the screen. Listen to what this thing sounds like whenever I start it up. Ready? Yeah, sounds like a lawnmower, right? So there are all your lights in the center there. And like I said, whenever you push this button right here, all it is are like 2 little ends moving closer together. I mean, like they're not even like a C for car, an M for Mitsubishi. No, they're just random ends. And that is how you adjust how close the car can get before it warns you or before it brakes. It's super weird. You do have your normal turn signal button here, and you do have your light controls and the fog light option, even though this car has no fog lights. Over here, your windshield wiper, that is the rear wiper there. You can see it moving in the back. Of course, the sedan does not have that. Pretty standard for your intermittent wipers there, nothing to write home about. If this car had heated seats, those buttons would be right down here where this big piece of missing plastic is, next to your USB. There is no USB-C in this car. It is just a USB port and a very small storage area right above it, and then 2 cup holders here in front of the gear shifter as well. Let's go up to the screen though. This 7-inch screen, again, is standard on every single Mirage. And let's go to the home button here, and it's relatively responsive. I mean, it's high quality for what it is, and also the backup camera is not bad either. It's relatively clear for, again, being an under $20,000 vehicle. I've seen much worse quality cameras on higher end cars for sure. Now, whenever you turn the wheel, the lines don't move with you. They kind of stay straight the entire time, but hey, at least it has a backup camera. Well, all cars are required to have that now, but at least the system is clear and precise. Back to home here for you, all of your different audio options. You do have a night or daytime, so the screen dims itself depending on what you want and need. Sound system kind of sucks. You can upgrade to a Rockford Fosgate premium sound system if you want to, but again, 4 speakers, it's not all that great, super tinny, not great quality, but at the end of the day, again, keeping those costs down. A big glove box here, which is amazing. For such a small car, it has a relatively large glove box right up here. Hard plastics all over the interior, not great plastics too. There are definitely quality plastics out there. Mitsubishi is not using them in this. It's just a subpar interior all around, which kind of is its biggest failing point in my view. For a few $1,000s more, the Versa offers so much more class and character and just refinement, even though it only costs $21,000 or something like that. So think about that when you're comparing the Versa and this, if you're looking for one of the cheapest new cars to buy. The seats are relatively squishy and look nice. They've got some red, accent stitching in here. They're nice. I think for long trips, though, they would get super uncomfortable because they're not all that padded, and I don't think they would hold you in place all that much. Now, speaking of, chintzy, look at this center armrest. It's the size of my finger. Look at this. I mean, and this is it. This is all you get. I mean, look at that. It makes no sense. I am almost offended that it's there. It really should just be gone because it just makes you laugh. Maybe your elbow can fit on it, but then the rest of your arm hangs down here. It really makes no sense why they even included this. But again, the LE trims and above have an armrest that attaches to the driver's seat, and then you can actually have your entire armrest on something. This again is the ES, so it is not built in. You do have 2 visor mirrors though, which is nice. You've got a mirror over there and a mirror on the driver's side. My camera is pointing down. A mirror over here and a mirror over here. No lights, but at the end of the day, I don't think you really need them. I'm just glad that there are 2 vanity mirrors that are offered in this vehicle. Let's get into the back and talk about the rear seat legroom versus the sedan here in this hatchback. So in the back, the hatchback is smaller than the sedan as far as legroom. 34 inches of rear legroom here in the hatchback, 37 inches of rear legroom available in the sedan. A tight back seat for sure, no doubt about it. There is nice headroom though if you're a taller person. I would not suggest 3 people of height sit back here, maybe 2 for a short drive. I have the seat moved up a little bit so I could illustrate this for you better, but this is not where the seat would need to be if I was driving. I'd have to have it back another inch or 2 to comfortably drive, and that would really then eat into the rear legroom here. But the seats are the same as up front, relatively squishy and nice. They're a little harder than the front seats, and that's it. You're just staring at a blank piece of fabric here behind the driver's seat. Underneath this seat, by the way, too, is the jack for the car. So if you ever have to change the tire, the jack is underneath the front driver's seat, which is kind of odd. I am glad though that you've got your window control back here. It's just as generic and as basic as it can possibly get. There is nothing fancy or fun about it. No chrome trim anywhere, nothing. This window does go the whole way down, which is a nice touch. But like I said, my headroom, actually, I'll turn the camera around so you can see. The headroom is actually just fine. I mean, it's a small car, keep that in mind. But I actually have fine headroom back here. And if someone shorter than me was driving, I'm actually in a perfect spot that I'd be okay for a few hours in a car like this. But most often, I think this car would be driven by 1 person, 2 people at a time. I don't think you should have 5 people in here all the time. There's not enough room. Let's get this thing out on the road and see what she does. So getting out onto the road here in the 24 Mitsubishi Mirage hatchback, I got the air conditioning on. It is blowing ice cold, super, super nice. I am worried though that under some acceleration on a hot day like this, and if you have some people and things in the car, the engine probably will struggle a little bit to get up and going because again, just 78 horsepower in this 3-cylinder engine. Here we go. I literally have like half floored the accelerator and just barely got going. Yeah, the engine does not like to work or like to go quickly at all. That is the main takeaway. But in the vehicle here, everything feels relatively nice as far as placement. The steering wheel is at a good height, even though I'm a taller person. The screen is visible at every angle, nice and bright right now for the daytime. And remember too, this car, every single Mirage comes with forward mitigation with pedestrian detection, which is a great safety feature to have. And where the Mirage also shines and kind of beats the Versa, in addition to, you know, the fuel economy and things like that, it also has an amazing warranty. 5-year, 60,000 mile basic warranty, 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. Every single Mitsubishi comes with that. It's a great warranty. It's super simple and inexpensive to maintain. No turbo to worry about. No crazy expensive service intervals, anything like that. I will say that sitting on these seats is already getting to be a little bit uncomfortable just because of the way they're designed. They're comfortable enough, but once you start taking some turns and you're hitting some potholes and, you know, just getting sunken into these seats, they don't grip all that well. They're not bolstered, and they don't really sit at the right angle. Definitely some road noise here, going about 50 miles an hour, coming to a stop. The brakes are good. They're quick to grip. Remember, only disc brakes in the front, drum brakes in the back, which I don't even know what other car comes brand new with drum brakes in 2024, but Mitsubishi says, hey, we'll take that distinction. Yeah, drum brakes in the back. I'm gonna wait to brake here and kind of do it last minute. They're quick. Definitely some, you know, soft suspension. The car kind of, you know, nosedives more than I thought maybe it would for a small car like this. But that 3-cylinder engine and everyday city traffic to and from the grocery store, to and from a restaurant, it is more than adequate. Where it really falls short is if you're doing a lot of highway driving. At no speed on the highway is the engine quiet. Even under normal just cruising on a flat surface, the engine is, you know, audible. You can hear it. I see a Cybertruck. That is very cool. But 39 miles per gallon combined in stop and go traffic. I mean, nearly 40 miles per gallon overall. That's just insane. I mean, that's what hybrids get. I've also talked about this in previous reviews of the Mirage, and it's not gotten better for 2024. Whenever you make a turn, most vehicles' steering wheels kind of, you know, recenter themselves and come back to center. The Mirage does not. You could, you know, leave the wheel kind of cockeyed and it will never return back to center. You have to physically force it back to center. It's not a hard force, but like it doesn't find itself again. It just stays kind of cockeyed at 1 o'clock or 1:30. Maybe the answer is they sell enough of these things that cost no money and people are happy with them. Why the hell change it, right? Maybe that's the answer. And what's also funny too, if the sun shines on the gauge display at the right angle, you can see a bunch of options and, you know, features that the car doesn't even have. They're just built in and the light will never light up for you because you don't have it. So right now cruising about 50 miles an hour, going up to 60. Just light acceleration, and that is what the engine sounds like. It is not cooperative under any kind of get up and go that you might want to do. Once you're at a cruising speed, I will say it's easy to keep it there. You will hear the engine in the road for sure. There's like literally no sound deadening material anywhere in this vehicle. It's easy to maintain your speed. Getting up to that speed, a little tough, but staying there is all right. Oh, body roll nation. Wow, definitely some road noise, definitely some wind noise too. I can hear it all around me. Gonna come to a stop here on a straightaway and floor it. I've turned the air off. The car is in normal driving mode from a standstill in 3, 2. It's floored. It's floored. Okay, we're at 50. We're at 60. Oh my God, it's almost insane. It's almost insane. Ugh, it didn't move for like 4 seconds when I had it floored. It was like, should we go? Should we go? But this car is like perfect for someone who is freshly out of college and, you know, can't afford an expensive car payment. Maybe this is perfect for the college kid to keep into their first job. Go off to school in this vehicle. Inexpensive to gas up, inexpensive to maintain. This is also the perfect car for, you know, someone who lives in a city and doesn't want to parallel park a huge car. It really only shines in price and in fuel economy, and if that's your most important things, then maybe this one is for you. Well, that is it for today's review of this 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage hatchback. Be sure to follow the channel here on Overdrive Reviews, subscribe to us as well, follow us over on Instagram, and like this video with a big thumbs up if you found it helpful, and leave a comment below if you got any other questions that I didn't answer. I will try to get to them for you. And that is it. We will see you on the next one.